And here we go. Here we go. Are you ready, Danie? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Is it working?
Is this working? Are we live? Are we? Of course we're live. Of course we're live. What's up, everybody? It's me. It's PLD, and I'm here with my favorite co-host on Chill. Wait, this isn't Chill, is it?
Today's not Monday, is it?
It's not Monday, is it? No? Anybody in the
Today's
background? No? It's not. It's Chill to Breakdown. Called a Breakdown. I'm here with my favorite co-host, of course, Danie Julie. How are you, my dear?
What's up, everyone? Hello, my favorite co-host, Mr. DiNuzzo.
Well, here it is. We were trying to revamp our style of reaction videos. We've been doing reaction videos for quite a while now on C2A, and it got to be kind of troublesome only in terms of because we hated waiting to do it. We always they drop on Patreon on Monday. We have to wait to record it live, and then we not get to watch the match and had a hard time schedule it. And we just didn't want to wait anymore. And we figured, let's put something a little bit newer out there. Instead of reacting and seeing things go, we're going to watch the match first, and then we'll come back and watch it again with each other and try more of a breakdown. Try to see what went right, what went wrong, and the like. What do you think about this new format, Dan? Do you like this idea?
I love this idea. I feel like a lot of people are tired of seeing our dirty mugs just staring at a screen and laughing about Brandon Hanna most of the time anyway. So yeah, I'm really excited that we have developed this format. Like Paul said earlier, this is a work in progress, so we are definitely trying to feel some stuff out for the show. But we did want to try to bring something more of a breakdown to the audience. We definitely enjoy and love everyone hanging out with us who has always hung out with us throughout the progression of this channel and with this show. So we're excited, very much interested in your input if you can, and that's it. That's all. That's our little C2A PSA.
Right. Actually, I will add on to it. A lot of times you're going to find we are going to try to get competitors on to break down the matches with us. We had that yesterday with Ace Cabrera. I know, Dan, and you're sorry you missed doing that one because you want to talk to him. But if things happen, what are you going to do? I'd like to be on that too, actually. I love it. We had a great time with Chill with Andres. But it was a great reaction.
I got to go to work.
I know. But
got jobs.
That's right. So we do like to have competitors on, and our idea is to try to get competitors on who are actually in the match, and barring that, try to get competitors on who are like maybe in the same league, something like that. Try to have a different set of eyes on it as well. We can talk to people in this. In this case, though, we have the match here. It's Alex Damon against Brandon Hanna.
Oh, Lord.
Hanna. So God knows I'm not going to get that schmuck on this show anymore. That's a lot. I mean, I thought about it. I should write. No, I don't want this guy on my air. I have a hard time, even watching the video of him, let alone trying to talk to him. I might throw up in my mouth a little bit. And then right?
Dear Brandon Hanna, you are gum between my toes.
But we do get to see him play in this match against Alex Damon, and it was a highly sought-after match. We got to see exactly where he was, exactly where Alex Damon was, and it was definitely neat to see who's going to go on in this tournament, which has been so exciting. I've loved this tournament so far. How about you?
Me too. Oh, so the Innergeekdom, these two divisions, the Star Wars division and the Innergeekdom division, have been so much fun to watch because I talked about it earlier with someone about the Star Wars matches. Just because I don't necessarily watch Star Wars doesn't mean that I can't be entertained by the Star Wars matches. Same concept for the Innergeekdom tournament. Just because I don't necessarily deep dive into a lot of these movies, like I've never seen a Star Trek movie ever before, but I still genuinely love to see this type of competition in the league in general because it's intense, it's fierce, and you genuinely, with each of these matches in the bracket, you just don't know which way they're going to go.
Very much so. I mean, there's been some, especially in tournaments in general, there's always kind of those special moments where we have upsets and where you think it's going to go one way and it goes the other. You never know what's going to happen. I do want to point out, yes, you're right, Brandon. I should actually mention this. I'm a person who actually doesn't even like reacting. I've never liked reacting. I always thought I'm going to play along and watch them unless there was a big deal moment, like when Andrew Guy comes back on the free for all or Andrew Guy beats Dan Myrtle, something like that. That's a big moment. It's kind of fun to see you react. Otherwise, I'm kind of I don't really need to see somebody playing along. I just never had fun with it. It was kind of always awkward to me. I mean, that's just my own personal opinion. But so I'm happy to see our new format. So I'm excited about that. I also do want to toss out there that we do have Streamlabs open. I forgot we had Streamlabs, and I just opened up the tab. So in case anybody wants to throw them in there, throw something in there, we'll answer as many questions as we can as we play along. Especially since we are by ourselves. But I like being with you, so it's okay.
Yeah, you're all right.
The first thing I'll talk about, the video started with the previously released interview when Christian revealed that Ken Knapsack is going to be the new manager of the Burning Druids. Well, the as of now named Burning Druids. We don't know if it's going to stay that way. I have a feeling it might change to the Knights of Ken or something to that effect, possibly. What did you think about that happenstance?
I loved the build up to it. Just that not everyone from the faction has voted yet. Still need one vote. Oh, who happens to be that? And it's Ken, so they bring Ken on for that. And Ken throws out these silly votes like Tiffany Smith and Josh McCouga.
The Warfather.
The Warfather. That was his official vote. His official vote was for the Warfather.
Who doesn't want a manager just going to come out and go, huzzah!
Huzzah!
Instead of challenge, it's huzzah!
Please. Ken, adopt that. Ken, please adopt that and let that be how you come in for challenges. I would genuinely appreciate that. And I think most of the Schmoedown community would. Absolutely. But I thought that it was a smart choice because from what Christian said, most of the faction voted for Ken Knapsack with the exception of one big surprise. So with most of the faction voting for Ken, I think that it is a smart choice. And the idea of the name changing to Knights of Ken is very fun. I would love that. That would be a fun little reveal. Name change.
Sweet.
Like imagine the graphics.
I do like the storyline. I also like the storyline of the one vote against one of being possibly a future going, how Brandon reacts. We had some interaction in this very match, where we see how that is going to go down. I guess I should announce during this as well. It says, spoilers go. We've obviously seen the match. We're going to be discussing things. If you haven't seen the match, you probably should watch the match first, because I may start talking about things that happen future until we get there. I mean, we're going to try to go along as we go. But you never know.
Come on, this is me and Paul here.
It's what we do, guys. It's what we do. But anyway. But not Danie Reds anymore. What is it? Fajitas, right? That's what we're going to do?
Fajitas, yeah.
I should probably explain that because it's so Danie tells me about she's going to do a Danie rant, and then auto-corrected on her phone to being a fajita. So from now on, it's no longer a Danie rant, it's a fajita. So Danie goes over to rant. So I have a fajita timer now. That's what we're going to call it.
Oh, man.
That's it, Lucas. I hear you. I'm exactly the same boat. It totally is. I'm like, Monday, I want to watch the match now. I don't want to wait till Thursday when we do it. So, all right, without further ado, why don't we just start the video? Sorry. Hit the wrong button there. I just kicked you off. I'm just going to be me solo reacting, but that's how it is sometimes. All right, let's play this bad boy.
Paul slowly trying to take over.
Slowly?
Slowly. I love that little riff.
Oh yeah.
Welcome back, Movie Trivia Showdown.
I love Mark's
fans.
names.
This is the Innergeekdom tournament. It is the second round.
Sometimes
and this match is one of the most highly anticipated matches we have had in a long time in the Innergeekdom division. We have Brandon, the Hitman Hanna, versus Alex, the Demon Damon. Yeah. My goodness, Mark, this is something.
Oh, Christian, you hate to say it's as simple as good versus evil, but if their behavior restays to be believed, then you can make it that distinction because Alex Damon's so easy to root for.
There we go. I like to hear you when I talk to you.
He's trying his hand at Innergeekdom, and he looks formidable in that as well. And then you have Brandon Hanna. What happened?
It's not the same for most married couples.
All married couples can't say that. Went to a show I did at college. He wasn't even a student there. He just wanted to come meet me.
I can see people talking about my lighting in the chat. I'm sorry, it's daytime. It's lighting.
I think he's more machine now.
Lighting, so I mean,
he's a lot.
I think he looked beautiful as is.
He is 3-2. He did beat Saul. He took that victory.
He's good.
He got that victory against the Den. He's very happy about that. But the guy just can't stay happy. Because
can you imagine if Brandon Hanna would have
looking for a new manager? Brandon Hanna comes, I'm going to manage, and I managed Ken Knapsack in Star Wars. See how I did? And then the Droogs voted in that Ken Knapsack would be the interim manager.
See, it wasn't just me.
Him and Ken are on the same page now, but
so I'm going to blame you.
Then you go to the flip side. You got Roxy Stryer and Alex Damon. Roxy Stryer acknowledges how much Alex Damon has done for her faction this year. He has a lot of the points this year.
Aliens, I love Emily Rose Jacobson in Atlanta. That was in Atlanta.
In the first round. An outcast. He is a dominant Star Wars champion. He's getting better and better in the Innergeekdom division. He's becoming her kind of golden goose right now. So this is everything for Roxy. She doesn't have anybody left at the moment, so this is a big match for her and the Rockstar.
That's very true.
That's right. It's tough when you get the metaphors because he clearly is her golden goose.
She hasn't been able to use Andreyko and
you lay an egg or an egg is laid.
Thank you. Andreyko Snyder all year too much, to be honest with you. So without their top two, she needs some wins, needs some points.
They were announced. They were both announced.
Hanna's game yet. Alex Damon, he knows a lot of things about most of the wedges on the wheel, and he's proved that in the most harrowing aesthetics. He did it at a live event, albeit in his hometown of Atlanta. So how will they fare?
I don't know if you noticed the top corner, top right-hand corner over there.
I think it's fair to say the internet is, although if the internet was to be asked,
I'm hearing it's still hard to hear us. I'm going to try to turn it down a little more.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially after Brandon Hanna.
That's fine. We've already watched this match anyway.
Yeah. People in the chat, please let us know if it's easier to hear us or not. I don't want you to hear us as much as you hear. It's not more than you hear Christian and Foggy.
Damon's fired back on social media. Damon's not one of those people who's just going to sit there, but he'll fire back in the class.
I can also possibly bring my mic
closer to videos, and that's why.
Thank you, Ryan, for that. And speaking of Ryan, I just noticed earlier that's true. He can't put us down anymore. We're not reactors. We're breakdowners. I like that. I kind of like that. See, I like where your head's at on that one, Ryan.
Breakdowners. That's gonna be our news.
I'm sorry.
With all the people, everyone
it just happens.
Who are the real jokes of this league?
There were stakes.
Yeah. If a heel
on iMovie also, Brandon. Okay.
But you know what? If a heel is supposed to make you hate him, you're doing a damn good job more than any other heel. Like everybody hates him.
Brandon Hanna has found a way to make the entire Schmodown hate him. Players, fans, reactors.
You know, when I watched this match live, I watched the chat, and everybody's like, "I want to punch him in his stupid smug face." Like, that's okay. All right, that's definitely some hatred. So, thanks, guys. You can hear us now. I'm happy to say thank you for letting us know. It's always hard to tell from our angle.
Yeah. do 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 do.
Oh, God, Nerd Chronic. Nerd Chronic for the Yodi Award again.
100%.
Again, over 100%. Unless it's Jake. Jake Akavetta we're talking about. Maybe he should be for the Yodi Award, given all he's done for the community.
C2A is going to collectively nominate Jake in the write-in ballots.
It's like,
that's right. I'm supposed to write the boo. We're supposed to boo him when he comes on. Christian wanted us all to boo him. You're boo! Boo! Oh, wait,
Alex Damon. Woo! Yeah. Go Damon. Boo!
Boo!
Oh, that's going to be exhausting to keep up with.
It will.
He's a scary player. Brandon knows what he's doing.
I gotta say that Brandon, like, definitely, even though he's turned into a bit of a jackass, has definitely studied his ass off. I know he knows a ton of stuff. So I mean, like, he knows the game, he knows the categories very well. It's interesting to watch Alex kind of enter this new division.
Yeah.
Because we all obviously knows Star Wars. That was not even funny. I mean, that's not even a question. Whether he knows everything else, he has proven Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about this we actually talked about this pre-match where he is on some of the other categories. I think we're still learning a little bit.
Yeah.
By the way, I love Roxy on that promo. By the way.
Yeah, Roxy did a great job.
Love Roxy.
Will Molly run in and give you a high five for lasting 2 rounds with me? All it's going to be.
Mike Kalinowski. When they talk and talk and talk, but you win, people start to listen.
Alex is a Star Wars champion, but that's all here.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to talk about the lost opportunity that Brandon Hanna had to talk some smack back to Roxy.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
I'll give you my little quip because it was the first thing that came to my mind. And if I was Brandon Hanna, I would have said this directly once she would have came at me with that. Y'all, anyone who has watched this match knows what I'm talking about. I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Woo!
Oh, here we are again, Eric.
Baby.
Great promo, Eric. That's true.
Brandon Hanna
Very true. They've been on fire, Ben. You're absolutely right.
Talked a lot of smack in that last match.
And Dean, you're absolutely right there as well. It is very underrated. So.
A really great match, by the way.
Brandon, who was a sweet boy,
I wonder if Roxy can go. I mean, she could probably do both. She's a sweetheart in general. I just love Roxy as a villain. Underrated, I think, as a villain.
I think so too.
To Alex Damon's credit, he doesn't look all that fazed by it yet. But once you get into the heat of competition, does any of that enter the back of your brain? Maybe you missed a question that you thought you had. Does the doubt start to creep in? We're about to find out because it's all going down right now.
All right. So before we get into it,
I wonder if Hanna must be able to stand into a corner now and look into the wall because he's turned his back on everybody at this point.
He's got no one on his side. It's very unfortunate.
The manager of the Rockstars, Roxy.
There she is.
And the interim.
Even the villain, I love Roxy, I gotta say.
The pit boss, Ken Knapsack. All right, let's start with you, Ken. Look, you were shocked by the decision of your teammates?
Cannot wait to see Ken and Roxy go back and forth with each other in future matches.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to see them. I'm excited that Ken is the manager for the Dukes for that reason, because he's so quippy and so smart, and he would have fun banter with any of the other managers. But I'm interested to see who Ken ends up having like the biggest rivalry with. Like, we've seen Gucci and Roxy go back and forth at it, like just always against each other and everything, never says anything nice about each other.
Yeah,
I would love to see like who Ken takes on as his evil
rival. I think he's not focused. Yeah, absolutely. It's funny that the managers are turning into a bunch that can do it. I mean, with Ken, we can stand up to it. You already know Shannon Ken, you know Gucci Ken, you know Kaiser Ken, you know Roxy Ken. More and more, and Kate is even doing a good job in her own kind of way, a different style, everybody, but still working out. And they're doing really good, going back and forth with each other.
So I'm here. And I'm in Hannah's corner, and he's.
And I love that about this tournament and getting for what's going to come up next in this match. I want to get into that a little bit more whenever we get there. But I love having the manager being such a dominant presence for this season. It's been so much fun. It has elevated
everybody does love Alex Damon.
This stuff that we have to go through with the league, which is very unfortunate. So having that back and forth between them makes it so much more fun. They've been doing so well with these matches, but like having that little added manager salt on it makes salt there.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. And also, it's been giving with all the different managers. It's giving new life to some people that might not have been in the league from. I think someone like Winston, who wasn't like the best player, he didn't get it too far as a player goes, but he's freaking gold as a manager, and he gets more screen time. I love it. I'm here for Winston. You know that.
100%.
Quay, same thing. I mean, he's using that his moxie as well as he can. It's great to have it. I love it, and I mean, it's obviously enjoyable because you're seeing more and more like Brandon Hanna wants to become a manager now. Video Drew on Chilled Action said that she has aspirations to become a manager. There's a lot of things that are going in that direction. I know Ben Bateman has said that he would be a manager at some point. I think he's quite ready to do that quite yet, unless he can start doing the player manager thing. But again, Bateman would be a great manager. So.
Yeah, I think I think now having the managers do what they've been doing this season, I think it's completely changed the Schmodown to have another position in the Schmodown, even if you might not compete well in movie trivia. Like you said, Paul, this is a perfect way to get other personalities to shine.
Absolutely. 110%.
I love that. That was great.
So zen. It's so powerful. You can see it when he plays the game. I've never seen him phased. The only thing he doesn't like, and it has nothing to do with other.
It's a good question, Brandon. That's a good question. And the big question about that being Hanna being a heel is like we have like Andrew Guys won heel of the year. You've had Shannon Barney be like talked about in the same breath this year, but it all depends on really honestly, as stupid as it sounds, is how you define heel of the year. If you go by like a true definition of heel of the year, then Brandon Hanna's got it because as much as Shannon Barney, for example, has done great heel work, she's been really funny and people love her.
Yeah,
like, she's a bad guy, but people love watching her talk and everything else. People actually literally want to punch Brandon in the face. Like that's what a heel. That's what a true heel is. It's almost like it's a different definition. Like it's a.
I feel like Shannon is a good. Shannon is a good mix of like what Andrew Guy was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But just where she's being a heel, but she's super likable. Like people still love Shannon because of what she does as a heel.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For both
I
factions
think
Thank you
I forgot my point on that. I'm sorry.
And Roxy, as we get ready. Oh man,
no, that's a good point.
This is something.
How's your?
That would be interesting to say.
That would be fun.
I just think Grace involved. Absolutely. I loved when Grace. When Grace talked to him about the Star Wars book at one point.
Yes.
You read it.
Hair a little bit. It's not a wig, folks. It's as good as it's gonna get. Christian, do the honors.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the movie trivia showdown. 3 rounds in the Innergeekdom division quarterfinals.
3 rounds.
Introducing first,
David B. I love his music too. Been on fire. I can't wait for these to get released, like Christian keeps talking about.
Yeah.
We're gonna have it on my playlist.
They're not already?
I don't think they are. I haven't seen any real thing out there. Unless there isn't, I missed it completely. I hope not.
I don't know. I might have also. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I feel like Danny Cost, if you're around, let me know.
Because I thought that they were talking. I know Christian was talking about releasing them. I don't think he's actually made any big releases yet. Of course, I'd also. That's funny.
I love that.
I did love that too. I'd have to add David B's chill and call to action music also because I love that as well.
That would
That's
be
for my
nice.
own playlist.
I love our chill song. I jam to that song
Every time.
every single time. It's one of my favorite
He
little.
made it to the quarterfinals here against Brandon Hanna. He has not been shy in calling you out, talking about how you are out of your league, how this is the end of the road for you. You've shot back at him. How do you feel about Hanna and everything he's been saying?
I mean, I'm not really here to beat Hanna. I don't have anything to prove to him. I'm just here to prove to myself that I know more than just Star Wars. And I mean, there's obviously been some gaps in my knowledge.
I do think that Alex is getting more
and in between every
comfortable
match, I am filling in those
in
gaps,
this kind of role. Whereas before we kind of came, played the trivia, his promos were pretty much like,
that I can check off the list as another sure thing.
He's kind of like getting more confident,
Alex,
and then
again, you've come to play my
not the
friend.
zinger. He's not going to be that kind of zinger guy, but he's confident. He's showing and everything else, and that's true. Dean, yes, he did steal one of that white shirt.
Yes, he did.
I love it. I think it looked good on him.
I do too. I didn't really get a chance to see on a close up what it is. I'm interested to see what it is because it just kind of looks like Cloud City maybe from where I'm at.
I would have to go with
I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell chat if you know for sure what it is.
Part of it looks like a martini glass. Part of it looks like a. I don't even know. I can't see.
That's probably why I think it's Cloud City. If it is a martini glass, like
I could be wrong too. I could be wrong. That is true. Shannon did on the Gucciverse say exactly the same thing. That's very true. Gucciverse is a very dangerous show, though, but I love it.
So really quickly about Alex Damon, I think a lot of people are sleeping on Alex Damon as a competitor because from the exhibition matches that I've seen him play in, the Champions one and the Lord of the Rings one, he's done extremely well in it. And I know that you know Star Trek, but also like Star Trek has a strength for him as well. And then knowing his background.
Wait a minute, 1 second, Danny. Wait a minute, 1 second. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I did that.
I tried to get it in there. Anyway, yeah. So I think people are sleeping on Alex Damon. I'm just going to say, I think Alex Damon is a stellar player.
How do you not have respect for Alex?
I think Alex is all over the board, to be honest with you. I think there's some people who will have a lot of extra confidence, overconfidence in him because of his ability to Star Wars. I think some people have, and I think you're right that some people completely discredit him because it's not Star Wars. I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I think we're still discovering where his level is. Each match we get to see more and more. I mean, he's definitely proving that he can hang. He can definitely hang in the division, obviously. I'm interested to see what happens as it moves forward.
I'm just here to move on to the next round.
Brandon,
I would disagree. And 7 about him not having charisma. He actually does have charisma because his whole thing is an act. I mean, I know that his whole thing is a definite. This is not Brandon Hanna you've seen. Like, this is definitely a role he's played. I've met him in real life a few times, and he has a much different personality in real life. So I would not say he's no charisma.
Yeah, I think also on that, it's hard to. I can kind of see where that could come from, but I also think that it's hard for someone to convey charisma on a certain level just on doing things online. We haven't really had a chance to see this character of Brandon Hanna this way in studio, so we don't know how it's going to be like. I think adding a little bit more having more of that sort of stage where they get to play on elevates it on another level. So I think that could be where that lack of charisma, just my opinion, where I think.
Could you bring Ken on for a moment, actually?
I think we're doing okay. And I agree with what Paul said also. We've met Brandon Hanna.
My interim manager, yeah. You bring him in now.
In real life.
I think, I really feel like
I like this storyline, yeah.
Me too.
Pretty great. And I've proven myself, not just as a competitor, but as a manager as well. And Ken, I don't think I need you here at all. I mean, what qualifies you to be here again? Running corruption into the ground. So if you don't mind, I'd like to manage myself.
I like it.
The rest of it.
Me too.
You don't want Ken.
I don't.
Me here. You want to call the shots yourself, even though. Look, I didn't want this.
This whole thing is funny because I love Ken's reluctant manager bit.
Stick or some marbles. They played pickup sticks. They did something. You were there, and I won. So
that's something we have in common, Ken. We both don't want this. I think the group they made a physical decision.
Wow. So what do we do here, Ken?
Well, I mean, look. First of all, he's flaunting. He's flaunting his middle finger.
This is such a fun scene to watch.
It is. They both have. I think they both have some good.
I like his moxie, Chairman. Look at that bed behind him. That's crisp corners. I trust a kid like that. That's a kid who's prepared.
Ken's done a great job. Like, Ken is so talented and stuff. He can take any situation and make it work. This is a hard thing for him to work. He's kind of like not bash Brandon, even though Brandon's bashing him. He's got to make it like so he's like not happy about it, but not unhappy about it. It's this weird line, but he does a great job like making it work.
Yeah. And then I love the way that he bounces out like that. He's like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, I don't need that clown holding me back.
Okay,
that's hilarious.
Let's bring in Alex Damon as we see.
Now, what's interesting, I'm going to talk about. I'll talk about this more as it goes on. We do know, we know the outcome of the match. We know the outcome here. So I'll say it one more time. I spoil it up. Obviously, the Hitman loses.
All right, Alex.
Thank God he loses because he's a little face. You don't want to punch him in the face to everybody else. But I do think that it's interesting how he loses. And I think that Alex Damon's performance in this match does not do anything for me in terms of showing where he stands. I'm very interested to see what his next match does, because let's face it, as we're going to find out, things definitely go his way as far as categories go. Any way he could have mapped it out, they go his way. What happens when it doesn't really go his way? That's what I want to find out more of. I'm not sold on that he will have the same success, especially against somebody like whoever is next, if it's Kalinowski or if it's Zipper or whoever it is he's going to have to face next. But we'll find out.
I agree. 2 points as well. We'll talk about it more whenever we get into some of the matches, but definitely
your manager, or
I agree
if you are your own manager throughout the duration of the 3-round match. Christian, it's even getting to the rules reader what's going on right
I'm happy to hear most of it.
games, but nothing that Brandon Hanna has done this season has been normal. So, all right, we are ready to go here. We start with Alex. Are you ready?
And finally, I'm just here to.
All I gotta say is whatever Hanna's doing is he doesn't have charisma or anything. That's definitely working. We're all talking about him still.
Are you ready?
I'm just here to answer questions too, Christian.
Then let's get ready to schmodown.
I hope they don't drop that graphic for when they go back to studio matches. I love that graphic.
Panther, T'Challa confronts Claw in a casino in which country?
We just here to ask the question. Like our whole job has been diminished.
And hands up afterwards, please.
No caw-caws in this one.
3, 2, 1. We start with Alex Damon, please.
South Korea.
That is correct. Brandon Hanna.
That would be South Korea.
So I'm going to start talking about this now. I think that, like, in terms of expanding on Alex Damon's career so far, we obviously know Star Wars is big. Just like that. You know he's going to get this question right. Absolutely. We also know from Lord of the Rings that he has that Lord of the Rings is definitely as solid of a category for him. MCU is one that he had against Emily Rosen and did okay. Did decently enough. I think that he's not. I think that's a second tier for him, possibly. I'm interested to see if that's going to be anything that's going to phase him in the future.
That would be Sebulba.
Alex, you get this wrong, you have to hand in your Star Wars champion.
Yeah. Sebulba.
That is correct. All right.
Imagine.
Next question here is question number 3. Middle Earth.
Middle Earth is
in the Return of the King. Who becomes the Steward of Gondor in the wake of Denethor's death?
Now, as we know, also, in Innergeekdom now, it's basically you got to get almost not as much as Star Wars, but pretty close. You got to be perfect, like almost perfect in round 1, or else you're going to be in a hole. And they don't go perfect; neither of them do. And that's part of the reasons why I think Brandon lost is he missed one in round 1, even though Alex did as well.
So 3-3.
But that lack of having a private one, the bonus question rather.
DC movies, and your question: what DC film features the tagline "Hell wants him, heaven won't take him"?
He got Potter, yes, but he was trying to steal MCU or something. There's some kind of MCU question that he's faced recently that he wasn't solid on MCU. Maybe it was just round 1 stuff. I'm thinking of it was a long time ago.
I don't have notes in front of me. I'm sorry.
I don't remember. I just remember he had he wasn't completely solid on MCU as far as he may miss a few, or we had to check down a few more times than usual.
Constantine?
I love the movie Constantine, by the way. I just want to make sure that I get that out there because it's one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies. I like a lot of Keanu Reeves movies, but
which is
one of my favorite ones.
Question number 5, and it is in the realm of Marvel. Who played
Johnny 5 for life? Hanna. Well, as far as strengths go, I mean, Hanna did spinner's choice. You're absolutely right. I just think Hanna has more solid strengths than other people do. I don't think he has a lot of
certainly an upgrade
drawbacks per se. But I mean, that's something that still has to be proven.
3.
Yeah, and
1. Alex.
Sam Elliott.
Yes, it is. Brandon.
Sorry, I was thinking about which question we were at the moment.
Score is 5.
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'll get back on it.
As we are halfway through round number 1.
We're live.
We are live. That's what happens when you're live.
Now,
as we continue, I'll remind the competitors and everybody out there watching and their one manager between the two of them that if they continue on this perfect pace, a bonus question will be asked. It's also
but it's not.
We're not there yet. Where we are is the Wizarding World. Of that
Wizarding World.
Who voices Narlac?
That could be very true. I mean, if he did the range, maybe he's gained knowledge in that. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Look at what happened with Eric Zipper's match.
Me and Sam Elliott.
And you're right. He did not. He definitely didn't know Hanna's 5. Hanna's 5 was definitely a deep pull. We'll get there when we get there. But
yeah, I want to talk about that whenever we get there for sure.
Take a nap like a hammock.
3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Down.
Oh yeah. Hanna. You know me. I love me a good mustache. So.
Alex?
I was gonna say something.
Have it on that one. All right, so Alex misses his first one. Hanna's still perfect as we have a 6-5 round here in the first round. Next question number 7. Star Trek. Name one of the original.
And this is the one that's interesting.
Besides Kirk,
yeah, we think that Star Trek might be a demon because he did so well in his last match. One of the last matches he did really well in that. I know Brandon's definitely a strength in Star Trek.
The JJ ones.
I want to tell you that I saw Con when I was really little and didn't understand it because I was really little. 5, 4. 3,
I got a hot take. I like Star Trek.
2,
I actually like Star
1.
Trek 4 and
Hands down,
5.
please, Alex Damon.
Scotty.
Yes.
Hottest take. I have no idea what
Brandon.
you're talking about.
Scotty.
Yep. Brandon Hanna. Still perfect here. As we see 7.
See, he missed. So that's how Demon missed Star Trek on that
Still,
one.
1 point is the lead.
So I don't know. I don't know if it's, but that's an older Star Trek.
And
Maybe
we
it's better than
continue
new Star
on. That
Trek.
1
Let's
point
find out.
lead could turn to 2 if he remains perfect and gets that bonus question asked just to him. Where we are right now is the DCEU. And the question, in the film Suicide Squad.
That's not a bad point. That's not a bad point, Damon. I don't know if he doesn't get flustered, but he doesn't show he gets flustered for sure. It definitely kind of takes a chill pill. I think he might be able to act in the moment and not get flustered, which is definitely a strong quality to have.
Yeah, you got to have a poker face sometimes in this game. I know that there are a lot of competitors that like to do the opposite of having a poker face and over exaggerating, pretending that they have that they don't know the answer or anything like that. That's kind of been a strategy for players before, I guess. But yeah, I think having a poker face during some matches is important. And if he doesn't know that, I don't show your emotions like that. I think it's important not to show your emotions too much.
Make creepy friends in order to.
But I understand that. I totally understand the passion behind it, and there have definitely made for some great moments, passionate moments when someone really gets into it.
Been locked up many times myself.
That's an interesting point. I'll be interested to see where that happens. I will tell you that in an interview I did with Kevin Spence, Kevin Spence disagrees and says that he thinks Hanna is going to be up in there in the top tier before too long. That's what Kevin's saying. But Kevin, I think Kevin knows what he's talking about, so I'll believe that. I'll believe that.
I was surprised that they both got this question wrong. At the point earlier when Damon missed his first answer, I thought, okay, this is Brandon's to win. And then when they both got this question wrong, that's like, oh, that kind of evens out the playing field again. Because Hanna doesn't get that tiny bit of an extra point, and especially now that we're in round 2 of the Innergeekdom, it comes down to those. It's always going to be head-to-head like that. If it's head-to-head like that, you need to make sure that you're always going to try to enjoy this
movie, right? Do we both like this?
So it's kind of a bummer.
More than I did.
You know why? Because
if you're rooting for Brandon, it was kind of a bummer, but I wasn't. So
4
is in the mood.
3, 2, 1. Pens down.
Here comes the challenge. This is the challenge. Interesting.
This was super interesting to see.
This was I call it the Video Drew type challenge. This is the challenge in the thing. Yeah. It worked for Video Drew.
What's the challenge?
I agree. I agree with the overall of it, but I don't think that it works in the same thing. And that's why I think Brandon Hanna, spoiler alert, y'all, rightfully loses this challenge because I don't think it. I think Video Drew was definitely in the right for her challenge, and I think that worked in hers. I don't necessarily think that these are the same thing.
No, it's just a similar ballpark kind of
vision and not yeah. But I guess if he was gonna argue that the Green Hornet, right? That's the movie. That's the name of the movie. Is not an Innergeekdom movie, and now they have like an Innergeekdom slice in singles, right?
Yeah,
would you still bring up that same challenge in a regular singles match?
I will say a lot of people in the chat are saying it was a bad challenge for his challenge, and he didn't need a challenge. Sometimes you gotta throw shit up at the wall because if he gets this challenge right, he gets the perfect round, possibly getting a bonus question. He could have a lot to. It could have done a lot with it. So, but the problem is, it was supposedly on. If it was on the list, like they said it was, then that's where Brandon has no leg to stand on, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I do think that it was a bad challenge, but I also agree that I would love to see players utilize their challenges in ways like this. I think that it was a tricky. I think that he believed his challenge, but I do think that sometimes using a challenge as a move to kind of trick something up or kind of play something out can work well in a competitor's favor. We've seen Ben Bateman do it before, but sometimes it can definitely flop.
Backfire. Yeah.
This is one where it just flopped. I don't think it's a bummer because it feels like the consensus in the community is like, man, Brandon, why would you waste your challenge on that?
Well, here's the interesting thing too. Is like he says dumbest challenge because it was on his list of Geekdom movies to study. I know Brandon Hanna is a smart motherfucker. I mean, he's got like a physics channel. He's a smart guy. So I do wonder as I'm bringing my own thoughts into it, continuing my own thoughts about that idea, is I do wonder if this was his avenue. Like he knew it was on there, and he had in his mind that whenever a question came up, if it ever came up, he would challenge it then. Maybe they don't have the right to challenge it beforehand somehow. I don't know if that's something that they've thrown down. Like you can't, like this is the thing, I can't talk about it. So I'll wait when it's in match, then I'll challenge the validity to it. I don't know if that's something that's, I don't know what their avenues are without talking to somebody like PJ or Christian or something, or even Brandon. He can maybe let us know if that's a choice, if that's a chance. So I mean, who knows? Man, you're right, and that's my thing too, right there. Boom.
Your 60 seconds to contemplate one.
And he did one graphic novel versus comic book. Oh, too. That's what I'm saying too, though. Maybe if Green Hornet, maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe he couldn't challenge the Green Hornet question until he was asked a Green Hornet question. I don't know if Brandon's been asked a Green Hornet question before, and that would be this is the way to do it, possibly.
There,
choice, and also I love it whenever whoever gets to pick first for the wheel goes first. That's always my favorite.
You like that? Okay.
I do. I like that a lot.
I've always been a part of the action side where you play from behind. I've always liked that idea, knowing what you need know what you need to get to get there.
But I just feel like if you're confident enough in yourself as a player, I like to look at it as like the annexation of Puerto Rico. Like it's an intimidation move. You go first to build up those points, so your competitor is like, oh shit, now I have to make sure that I hit every single one of them. So the pressure is completely on you. If you're the second one to go, if your competitor every single one of their questions just the way that, spoiler alert again, Brandon Hanna does, it puts pressure on you to come up with that also, especially if someone is in the lead and then chooses to go first. Now you really know that you have to get all of your questions right in order to even be a smidgen behind to catch up in round 3.
Absolutely. Ben Miller asking us now, Ben, is this question as in if we were Hanna and playing against Alex Damon? That's a good question. I mean, I know honestly I'd probably choose Star Wars anyway, except the one I know best. I know Star Wars best. That's what I have a good shot at. I know other ones okay enough, but Star Wars is my go-to.
I know absolutely. I wouldn't feel confident at all in any of the Innergeekdom categories. If Disney Pixar was on that every single time, 100%. But I don't know. I think if I had to choose a category for sure, I'd probably go with Harry Potter. If I could choose between Harry Potter and not the Wizarding World, then I would do that. I don't know how they separate it. I've seen them ask questions before, and the category is the Wizarding World, and then I've also seen them ask questions, and it's Harry Potter movies, or Harry Potter is the category. So I don't know if they have different questions for each of those, but if I had to choose, then it would be Harry Potter.
That's a good call. You know, bringing it back again, I think I would take Star Wars just that Alex couldn't get Star Wars also. I mean,
in Star Trek Beyond, which is revealed to be a
Harry Potter would be a good one for me too. That would mind. I could probably do Middle Earth and Harry Potter as well. You know, I'm nowhere near as good as any of the IG players, but I do know those. Marvel, I'm sorry, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and Star Wars are my definite go-tos. MCU I'm okay at, but not the particulars.
Kalinar.
Wow. Yes, it is.
Brandon Hanna really did do a great job in this round. Got every single question right. In Star Trek, which I feel like a lot of people still feel like that's a hard category to bring up in Innergeekdom, which it definitely is. I don't know any of these questions. So yeah, they're all hard to me. So
you know what? That's a good point. If it was Harry Potter 1 through 7, or 1 through 8, then I could do it. This Fantastic Beasts lose me a little bit.
Could not do. That's why I wouldn't want to do Wizarding World.
It worked out for him because he sees himself up.
So yeah, Hanna sweeps the second round of Star Trek, and it's a big solid thing. I told you Star Trek is definitely a strength for him.
For the spin. Here you go.
Crushed that.
Alex, don't let that get to you. You know exactly what to do.
Oh, here's my little quip of what I thought, what Brandon Hanna should have told to Roxy. Okay, so set it up early in the scene. Roxy says Brandon Hanna doesn't have wrinkles on his bread. Brandon Hanna should have turned to the camera, winked at it, and told Roxy, "I'm still a hot man, Roxy."
Christian would have edited that out in a heartbeat. You actually might have done it.
You did.
Exactly. Christian might have out of that.
Put that wheel up there and
fucking Hanna.
First spin.
Boo.
Boo the hot
Boo
man.
the hot man. The not man.
Out of these before.
Ooh, what classifies IG to both? Great question. Rick.
I've always hesitated to answer that question because I've heard such great arguments on both.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm the type of fan that just lets them do whatever rules that the powers that be decide to put the rules as are what I'm going to follow. I'm not going to question it. I've never tried to question anything like that about the Schmodown in general, just because I feel like it's still like
Middle Earth. It is. You're gonna
it's
have
way more than what it's grown so much than what it's been before, but there was a lot of human error in some of the stuff that happened in earlier matches. We're still going to get those in these matches, in these newer matches, no matter how evolved we get. There's still human beings running this. So to really question or nitpick little things like that, for me as a fan, I'm just not that person, but I totally get like really wanting to understand the game. And that's why I get like, I never wanted the rule book. I understand why people want the rule book. It's to completely understand the game and get to know it as closely as possible. And having opinions on stuff like that. So that's my opinion on that.
There you go. I'm pretty happy with how IG is for the most part. Sometimes I question it. There's a big question about whether Bond should be in it or not. I mean, I don't know. It's something you can geek out about, I guess. But I mean, I guess you have to have some kind of limitations. So far, I've been pretty happy with their choices, to be honest with you. But here you go. You know, Alex gets Middle Earth, and that's one of those big two. He's one of the big two, so you knew that he was going to match Hanna. As soon as he got Middle Earth, it was okay. Well, it's going to come down to round 3 because Damon had it in order. He was going to tie Hanna pretty much at this point. He was going to go into the final round, probably tied at 18, and it does. And therefore, see, at that point, it becomes once the whole match comes down to you're having a round 3 as a taker all because you're both starting tied. It's all about luck. It's a lot more about luck at that point. And I shouldn't say luck. It's because luck implies that they're not preparing because they're both obviously preparing. But as far as just getting the categories,
it's like a draw.
Lord of the Rings for the strength hits it.
Totally agree with you on that part. It's definitely not on lack of studying or anything like that. It's just choosing your numbers and knowing some people have their own set numbers. We've seen competitors pick the same numbers every single time. I feel like that's a big habit for most people. That might be something that I would do, but I would also like to switch it up every once in a while. If you had to pick numbers, what would your numbers be? Mine would be 7, 2, and 5 in that order.
Each number corresponds to a different corner.
12, 17.
Down goodness. Your first question for
7, maybe in that order.
3 points, and you'll
No real reason, actually. I'd probably do.
The numbers were picked, mine would be 15, 3, and 6.
I might even just do one of the old 1, 2, 3 or 15, 14, 13 because like at this point,
1, 2, 3.
I mean, at this point, honestly, you start even though it had nothing to do with anything, you can't ever possibly tell what the number is going to be. Like if you pick any different numbers and all of a sudden, wow, I should have picked this. Just take that out of your head. Just go, I'm just going 1, 2, 3, no matter what it is. Therefore, it's never a bad choice in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you don't know how often they're going to shuffle those categories either. I like to imagine that they shuffle the categories for each number before every match that plays. But I remember for a long time at the beginning when I first started watching the Schmodown, I would write down numbers and what category that it was. And for a long time, Disney was always 1. And then maybe like around season 3 or 4 was when I started to notice them changing up the categories. But definitely in the earlier seasons, I think most of them were the same ones because I know I had heard people pick 1 a few times, and every time it was always Disney.
To make sure you're going to be.
Is that true? I don't think. Did he say that officially was definitely going to happen? I thought he said he was potentially considering it. I don't think he said he was definitively going to happen.
I'm so proud of you.
I don't know. So that would be including just Clone Wars and Rebels, or
Mandalorian probably at that point. If you do that, I don't think. I think at 7. I mean, maybe I misheard, but I don't think he said definitively. So I think he's still against it. He just something that if he was going to do that in any division, it would be the Star Wars division, but that he wasn't planning out of as far as. No, that could be if I'm mistaken. I'm sorry, but that's what I remember.
Marvel.
I also don't know anything about that, so I can't touch on that at all.
More of an if.
So I thought it was what an interesting match to see Alex Damon and Brandon Hanna go toe-to-toe for round 1 and round 2, both of them getting a perfect score in round 2, but also both of them getting categories that they're strong in. Brandon getting Spinner's Choice and Alex getting Middle Earth. So sweeping those round 2s were kind of, I think we all knew that they were going to do that. I think they knew that they were going to do that. That round 1, getting them, I think, is really where
Brandon,
this match sort of. Brandon Hanna didn't get that answer.
Used to commit vigilante murders in Birds of Prey.
That'd be across.
I got that one right.
Yeah, I did too. That's one of those questions that tends to trip me up a lot because it's like so many different. You can't even be in the right genre sometimes. You have to think of completely different things.
DC movies. DC movies.
DC.
Here is your question, Alex.
So, give me an example of a DC movie that's. I'm sorry.
He gets this wrong. This is why I wonder. I don't think DC. I think DC is going to be a weakness for him.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I know I'm showing my age a little bit because of Superman 1978 movie and everything, but I knew this like right away. This was like a big. It's one of the big parts of the movie. Like Lex Luthor is like Mr. Smucker. Like the whole movie, he says it like it's like a big running bit. So like he doesn't know. It doesn't seem like he has any idea about it. But I don't know. So maybe it's an age of the movie, but I don't know. It might be a DC thing. I'm kind of curious.
No, maybe because that was going to be my question to you. Because for me, I couldn't pick out readily in my brain what's the difference between a DC movie and a DCEU movie. I'm assuming that the DCEUs are going to be all of the newer Supermans, the newer Batman, the Batfleck ones, the Wonder Womans.
Well, that's DCEU. The stuff that started with Man of Steel. Now the question is,
and
it's kind of gotten sloppy because I don't know what DCEU is anymore. Because unlike MCU, they've all started to branch off. Like Joker, is that technically part of DCEU? Not really. The new Batman with Matt Reeves is doing, is that part of DCEU? We don't really know. I mean, definitely Man of Steel, definitely Batman vs Superman, definitely Justice League, definitely Wonder Woman. Definitely Aquaman, definitely Shazam.
Yeah, because those broad movies outside of DC, like just thinking of those DC movies, I agree with you right there, Paul. That could definitely be a weakness for someone. I believe Alex Damon is my age. I'm pretty sure we're very close in age, and two different people, obviously. Like I can't answer a Star Wars question to save my life, so it's definitely not the same. But I do think maybe quite possibly age could play a factor in that.
See, yeah, Zeke, we don't really know. They kind of like stopped talking about it in a way. So Joker is DC. Joker was like, exactly. Joker was something that was done a little bit outside. They kind of stopped talking about the DCEU. It was originally going to be Worlds of DC, and they just basically stopped talking about it at all. Like they still say MCU. But you see, they kind of just throwing movie titles out there, and they're not really saying anything. Joker was a standalone, exactly. But I don't know about the Batman. Matt Reeves' Batman. I don't know about. Like as far as they're going with other sequels, other things they're talking about. It's kind of like does the DCU does it exist? Like a Suicide Squad 2 coming out? Is that going to be part of the DCEU? It's kind of like they're not really defining it very well yet. So I mean, I don't know where it fits in the slice at this point.
Damon hits it.
I will say that I do.
There you go. By the way, we can talk over that. We just talked over that. Alex Damon hitting Star Wars for the number for his five player.
Yes. So I do think that Alex Damon does get lucky in a sort of way that it seems to be convenient that sometimes he pulls Star Wars whenever he needs to. That's not saying anything against the game. I don't believe that the game is rigged in any sort of way. It just so happens to be, and I think that it's one of those like number 33 things in my opinion. Like when you look for something, you're going to find it. And I think anytime that we see Alex Damon get Star Wars as in anything, even in a round one question, we know that it's going to be a gimme, and it's always going to be a sort of point that pops up in our head that that's a Star Wars champion. So of course he's going to get this question right. It just adds a little bit more of a sprinkle, not irony, but like a sprinkle of like just how funny that happens to be that he gets it as his 5-point question.
And that's what I meant before. When I said lucky, lucky, it sounds bad. It's more that if Alex Damon's going to map out an Innergeekdom match, this is how he's going to map it out. So what happens when the map doesn't go the way he's mapped out? And that's what I really want to see. So I still can't judge where Alex Damon fits as an IG player. He's good. But is he going to get that when he spins DCEU? When he spins, I don't know, something else for the finals? Is it going to be DC, something else, or whatever else there is out there? I don't know. What's going to be that when he does not hit Middle Earth or Star Wars or maybe Star Trek? I mean, he's got potential in both places, but I want to see if he has the full breadth of knowledge that someone like Kevin Smets does have. And honestly speaking, I hate saying that. I hate saying it. Brandon Hanna does have that breadth of knowledge. He's a punk and a dumbass motherfucker right now. I hate that motherfucker. I want to punch him in the smug face myself. I want to choke him out. But he has the breadth of knowledge. There's no category I've seen Brandon Hanna where he's weak in. He's missed a few things, but overall he has that breadth of knowledge. That's what I want to see. Damon I also has a hard time saying it. He has a lack of matches. He hasn't had as many matches to see in that way. So we'll have to find out.
Yes. And I think from fan perspectives, you and I are both coming at it from sort of a different angle, because you're looking at it as a very analytical point of view where you don't know for sure because you haven't seen Damon really touch on specific categories. And the categories that he has been kind of weak on, those are always going to be questionable things. And for me as a fan, just kind of enjoying this, as watching, and that's not to lessen either of our experiences or anyone else's experiences when it comes to enjoying the Schmodown and taking in the content the way that you personally want to take it. So for me, I really enjoy Alex Damon as a competitor and a player. And I think from just my personal opinion, watching him in the matches, I really enjoy seeing him. And I feel confident enough in Alex Damon as a fan to follow him and hope for the best and believe that he is going to do well in any of the matches that he comes up from. So it's just like a difference of fan perspective. And I love that's what the Schmodown does for the community, because we can look at it from a fan favorite point of view and also be logical about it and be like, yeah, he's a champion, but still, does he know Superman movies like that?
Right. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. All right, let's end this match here. And Hanna gets his 5-pointer, and it's an MCU, and it's a tough one. I still think it's a tough one. I think N7 might have said earlier that it was in the trailer, I guess, but I actually forgot that. I think it's a tough goal.
I have an opinion on this.
Okay.
For the win and to advance in the
I'm
tournament.
going to let the question get asked first really quickly.
Does Mysterio claim to be from in Spider-Man Far From Home?
Okay, so here's my gripe about not the question or the placement of the question as it being a 5-pointer, but the backlash that I've kind of seen.
Repeat the question.
With Brandon Hanna about getting this question wrong, because we've heard people say that it was in the trailer, all of that stuff. I think so many of us right now have a recency bias when it comes to Star Wars, that Star Wars competitors know every single number, know every single thing about every single point of the movies. And it's not that same type of gameplay in Innergeekdom. It's getting there, obviously, with these 5-point questions, but I do think that this is definitely a 5-point question that's deserved. And I don't think that at first when I heard it, I was like, that can't be a 5-point question. That seems like it's a little easy. But I thought about it. It's like, I probably feel that way because I'm so used to people answering like, what's the whatever question that I can't even think of for Star Wars. That's my gripe with people giving Brandon Hanna
I get it.
some stuff about this.
I think it's interesting, and unfortunately, it comes down to 2, 3, and 5. You have the Demon got his 2 and his 5. Brandon Hanna got his 2 and his 3, and that's the outcome of the match right there.
563.
And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for
It is.
his thing. But I mean, that's the way it is. But hey, he lost.
Yay!
Hanna goes down in a blaze of
Hanna,
glory.
boo, Brandon Hanna. Oops, sorry.
Alex moves on.
Alex Damon does it. He advances. Brandon just gonna have to put you in the.
So I don't. So also being a fan of Alex Damon and believing in Alex Damon, that doesn't go against how I feel about this match, because it's Brandon Hanna lost to himself. Like it wasn't that Alex Damon beat Brandon Hanna in movie trivia or anything like that at all. Brandon Hanna just kind of lost to himself. He lost his 5-point question, and that's just the bummer part about it. Brandon Hanna could have easily won this match, and nobody likes got some really good categories in the corner that he was.
So I'm glad that you forgot about her.
Helped him really slide as close as he did to Brandon. But Brandon did an amazing job.
I hear you.
Brandon Hanna.
You're damn right, Corey. You're damn right.
You are incredible.
Yeah.
Good
on him.
In terms of numbers,
he did though. It all came down to one question. It came to one question he missed. He didn't have his 5-pointer. He has his 5-pointer. He wins.
You were owed that, and
so it's kind of must be a hard thing for him to live with. Must be a hard thing for him to live with. Good.
Go be quiet. For
I have to say this, y'all. I'm so sorry.
Played very well.
I love Roxy's hair right now. I know she probably got her hair done recently. It looks like it might have, if she hadn't, maybe for 2 weeks, but it definitely looks toned. And girl, yes, love it. That shade looks bomb on you. I feel like I've never seen you in that cool shade.
Looked like he was going to be over 5-pointer, and he came close. He came close with that 5-pointer there. Were you nervous that he was maybe stalling and that he knew the answer?
Of course. I mean, yeah.
Did you think Brandon Hanna was doing that?
I didn't.
I didn't either.
I guess when I saw him do that, he tends to be. He was definitely pulling. I could tell he was pulling.
Wait, what is it? Is it Florida? What's on his shirt?
So he is a great competitor.
It looks like
it looks like a paper plane.
Stingray.
Are those two suns?
Very good.
Is that a Star Wars shirt? I can't tell. Someone tell me what's on this shirt.
Looks like a stingray, maybe. I don't know.
It looked like a paper plane.
How do you clap so hard you hurt your eye? Can you take us through the physics?
Could be. I don't know. Might be a stingray.
If you guys, I wish you could
see. Look at her hair. It looks so good.
Does look good.
In the waiting room, I get up and I'm clapping, I'm flapping, and it just was a little too close.
Yeah, it's not doing a Bateman.
And I clapped into very focused on the game and the excitement. And I clapped, and I think I caught an eyelash.
Oh no.
Oh, Roxy.
Eyelashes can be dangerous sometimes. Just a heads up.
I wouldn't know. I don't usually wear the extensions anytime soon. But.
I get it.
So it just went. It went left, and I went right. And if I'm gonna injure myself, at least we're champions, because it's a much better injury feeling.
Ew.
Majority.
I don't believe it's just a Hawaiian shirt, Stardew. I would like to believe that there's definitely some sort of motif or cool pattern on there that
he hasn't played.
Absolutely.
We got Damon coming up next against either Mike Kalinowski or Eric Zipper.
Oh, that's going to be a fun match.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see where Eric Zipper has, how far he's come in the Dungeon School of Studying.
The light of my life.
I do think Mike probably has. You got to give Mike the benefit of the doubt at this point. As much as I've gone both ways, I still think Mike's got to show me something to see where if he, like I said before, I've said in other C2A shows, I feel like Mike's got to show when he's got a swagger back, because he's kind of lost his swagger in Spectacular. Hasn't quite regained it, especially by himself. He did better with the teams because he had a chance kind of getting his back. I'm just seeing what happens there. But if KO beats Zipper, or if Zipper beats KO, they got to face Alex Damon. I think that is going to be a big test for Alex as well, especially if it's up against KO. I think that's going to be we'll see more where Alex is in terms of Innergeekdom after that than we did now. If
I agree,
unless he spins Middle Earth and Star Wars again. I mean, who knows? And it's not to say that Alex isn't going to keep improving. He's obviously got a good basis. And if he starts studying like he knows for Star Wars, he could absolutely by next year be even better and be right up there. I'm just looking at where he is right now.
Congratulations.
I think it would be a true testament to what kind of Innergeekdom player that he is. If he goes against Mike Kalinowski, if Kalinowski wins, then he'll be going up against an Innergeekdom champion. So it's not only just how he plays the game, but how he plays against a champion and someone who can be as intimidated as Mike Kalinowski. You can't not shaking your boots sitting next to Mike Kalinowski during an Innergeekdom tournament. No, I don't think that anyone would be that dumb to not going there unprepared.
Made that challenge in the first round.
But I think it would be interesting also to see him go against someone like Eric Zipper. That I think that they're pretty much like on par knowledge-wise.
I don't think Green Hornet is
that would be fun.
Movie doesn't belong in this division, and maybe it's about time I really give the question writers a piece of my mind.
Okay,
I'm not going to be.
I have a question for you about the whole situation. Brandon Hanna went into this match without a manager, told Ken to kick rocks, and then
to kick Roxy?
Huh?
You told him to kick Roxy?
Strength in round 2.
Kick rocks.
The biggest strength for his 5-pointer.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard you say. So.
That is like 90s New York slang. I would definitely think that you would know it. Jeez.
Oh, you go pound salt, I think that's what I actually say, but go ahead.
So he went into this match completely by himself as a solo player, and then he tries to challenge something. Do you think that Brandon Hanna going in there with a manager, specifically Ken Knapsack, would that outcome have been different, or do you think Ken would have had his back on this, or do you think there would have been something about
way too much? Somebody really needs to.
I think that Brandon knows enough about his own abilities, and I do think, despite everybody trashes Brandon for his managerial stuff because he's not a nice talker. He's not going to build you up. But I think as far as gameplay goes, I think he knows the game very well. I don't think much would have changed with Ken as a manager for him because he knows what he wants to do. Like would Ken have helped him challenge the Green Hornet thing? I think Ken might have deferred to Brandon because Brandon's a passionate player. He knows what he wants to challenge, what he doesn't want to challenge. I think so. I don't think it would have changed a whole lot.
Okay, so with that answer coming from just an overall perspective, with that mentality, a manager, do you personally believe that question should have been challenged?
Everything always depends on, it's not just the question, it's the where the question is, what are you trying to accomplish? It's a lot more than just a challenge. As far as we were talking about before, he was trying to get that perfect round. He was trying to maintain that lead on Alex Damon. Was it a bit of a Hail Mary? Absolutely. Was it the only way he could challenge it because he can't challenge it before the match? And that's what he wanted to do for long term? Absolutely.
It was a hell of a match. It was a good fight.
Obviously, it worked against him. So hindsight being 2020, he probably shouldn't have.
I don't know,
but I get why he did it.
You and Ken need to have a talk. But
overall, it was.
Thank you.
I can't say it was a mistake because I said I get why he did it. Why he did it. I think that's what can't say it was a mistake. But obviously it hurt him.
But from a manager's perspective, if you know that your player is going to go in there with a challenge that they're going to lose, you feel like that's a challenge that they're going to lose in round 1. Is that something that you're going to really advise them to be like, well, if you feel like you're cool with it, then go ahead and challenge it?
To me, it depends. Again, it depends on the player. If you have someone who's running scared and you think a challenge might, like, if winning that challenge could kick him in the ass and like all of a sudden get his confidence going, maybe you do. Maybe you go, no, let's say that this guy's going, he's scared right now. Let's get him some confidence. I mean, if it doesn't work, does it set him back even further? You got to play up in that. Someone like Hanna, who like is passionate about that idea, you say, all right, he's got his own. He wants his own destiny. I let him go for it. Somebody like who's more not ready, maybe kind of go. You advise him and say, let's make sure you want to do this because here's what's going to happen if it doesn't work out for you. Brandon knows exactly what's going to happen if it doesn't work out for him. He knows the game. So when someone knows the game, I'm more willing to say, all right, you do you. This is what you want to do, then I'm going to back you. If there's someone who's like, you might going to go, we should hold off on that.
He was defeated.
I'm interested to see what a lot of people's opinions are. I really haven't had a chance to really get into social media too much about it, especially now that the spoiler ban has probably just been lifted for a few hours now. So I haven't seen a lot of opinions on the manager aspect of not having a manager for this match. I would definitely be interested to see that. I agree and I disagree with you, Paul, in a certain way. I feel like if you know for sure that a challenge is going to be completely thrown out,
it's going to be an ongoing debate. And
if you know that you're going to lose a challenge in round 1, I just feel, and you're not utilizing that challenge as sort of like a mind trick against your opponent, then I would suggest holding on to that challenge just in case you really do need it.
I'm not gonna say you're wrong. That's for sure. I mean, I definitely understand that gameplay as well. And the only other thing you throw out there is if it's a momentum thing. You want to stop somebody's momentum. That's the other reason you do that sometimes. I do want to say, level 2. I hope so. But Hanna's like a bad penny. It seems to show up every possibility. I knew before when he was friends with us and he was hanging out with us and being on our show, back when he deigned to lower himself to be on our show. He was someone who was studying a lot more. I wouldn't be shocked. I would be shocked if he's not going to talk to, well, I was going to talk to Ken who doesn't like him, but maybe he'll try to get into the teams tournament as well, possibly with somebody. I don't know. It depends on what the juniors have, because I know what they're going to go with. I mean, they have the obviously already have the one team already in play.
Do we need this on?
No, we can talk about it. I'm just talking over. I'll stop. There you go. So,
hi everyone.
Hi. I'm going to exit out now because I can still hear it. So, okay, I'm going to exit out of it. There you go. Yeah, you can't drop anybody. I don't think you can trade. You can't drop anybody more. That's for sure. So no one's going to be dropped.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you still trade now?
I don't know if there's a trade deadline or not. I didn't think so, but I'm not 100% on that. So
I don't know either. I don't know.
You know, he's not playing singles. Definitely not playing singles this year. He's obviously not in the tournament. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be completely surprised or shocked to see him make his way onto a team. Just throwing it out there. This is not any kind of like scoop or anything like that. I have no scoops. It's just going up. We have no scoops today. Sorry, guys. But I mean, you know, outside of the thing. Obviously, Hanna's making a name for himself, and we know Christian likes to also help when people are making a name for themselves. Get them involved, get them more screen time. It's kind of a wrestling. It's not kind of wrestling. If you're an old school wrestling fan, you have somebody who is getting over with the fans, and that could be either cheering or booing. And he's definitely getting over as the on the bad guy's side. He's definitely getting hated by everybody. He's making noise. You try to get that person more involvement. So if he was going to be someone who has decided to study for things, maybe you do see him. I'm not saying it's a definitive thing. I'm not even saying it's likely. I'm saying he's a bad penny and he shows up at the worst time, and I wouldn't be completely shocked. But what are you gonna say?
Whatever, Brendan, Hanna.
I did. You're right. I did cut it off for the end credits. Sorry. We cut off the show.
Disrespectful. Disrespectful. I also didn't know that there was like a sort of secret.
That sounds right to me. I mean, that does sound right to me. So I wouldn't.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, that's trading between teams, right? Obviously.
Right. Yeah, you can't drop anybody. You have to trade.
I was thinking of different words inside my brain.
There we go. Let's see. Anything else we have to say about this match?
I'm trying to think if there's any points. I kind of took some notes. I'm trying to see.
Anybody else have any questions in the chat? Now's your time. Or say them now, or forever hold your peace.
Yep.
And then we will get out of here.
Want to know Paul's #1 world-winning recipe for baked Zeta bread? Ask him. Yeah.
You could. I don't know if I'll tell you, but you can ask. I might make you go to PLD Projects for that one, maybe.
Maybe.
I'll save that. I need to save that for my own channel.
Yes. We gotta start figuring out impressions to do.
We gotta do. We gotta start getting impressions in there.
To donate to the Streamlabs.
Donate $10. I'll do a good Danie. I'll just put the timer on and start ranting.
Objective, just let me rant on it. That's gonna be my $5 Patreon tier.
Okay.
Let me rant.
Predictions for the upcoming round 2 matches for Innergeekdom. Okay. Without looking at the tournament, then we got Zipper versus KO, obviously. I'm going to say, I said Zipper before when he was on, and that was before I saw Zipper's first match. I saw that Zipper was studying in the dungeon. After seeing Zipper's first match, I don't think he's quite up to the level yet, so I'm going to go back and say that Mike will probably get there, but I do think Zipper gives him a run for his money. That's what I'm going to go with on that. As far as the other matches, what's the other side again?
Ben Goddard and Robert Parker, right?
Yep.
I squint my eyes like I don't know who Robert Parker is.
Well, actually, Dan, why don't you tell us your Mike versus Zipper match?
I think Mike Kalinowski is out for blood. I think he is out for revenge, and he is on this #revenge tour, and I think he's just going to slaughter everyone in sight. Unfortunately, and corruption needs these points. And I think Mike knows that. I think Mike is the type of player that is not only playing for himself, but he's also playing for his faction. He's a good leader to his faction. Gotta give him that. And I think he's really going to put in, thanks, Ben. I think he's really going to put in some time and effort to slaughter everyone in this tournament. So I have Mike going all the way for it. He's only got a couple more matches left, but I definitely think Kalinowski is on the rise.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other one, actually, it's Robert Parker versus Chance Ellison. That one,
yeah.
I got.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I meant, y'all.
I got Parker all day for that one. Parker is a godlike character. I do think that Chance has done an amazing, but kind of, I don't want to say quiet job, because people are starting to talk to him, but like they haven't talked to him. They haven't like talked about him as quickly as his record should almost be talked about. Like ever since last year, he's been on fire. He doesn't get a lot of mentions, but he's really doing well. He did well in his match against Paul Oyama. He showed he's in the Innergeekdom. He has shown a lot. So I think Chance there's definitely not going to be a knockout. I think Chance is going to at least do a very good showing. I just have a hard time seeing anybody beating Parker at this point. So I'll be surprised if that happens.
I really hope that I don't have to eat my words at some point, but I definitely have Parker taking this. I got mad love for Robert Parker, and just as much for Chance also. I know Chance has been studying his booty off. So he's really been at it, and I agree with you, Paul. I don't think he's getting as much credit as he deserves with the amount of studying and amount of time that's put in. I really hope that people don't kind of like brush him off or just kind of I think most people know that Chance Ellison is a smart player and a great player and a strong player, but I don't think people really put into consideration how much time and effort he puts into his matches. Like every single time that I've ever seen Chance, like at a live event, outside of anything, all he's doing is studying. Like literally all he ever does is study. So I don't want to eat my words, because I definitely did with the Oyama Ellison match. I thought Paul was going to take it. I really did. I knew that it was going to be a rough match against the two, but I really thought that I had Paul. I really thought Paul was going to take it. Did not do it. And Chance really showed up on that match, y'all. Chance showed up on that match. And I would love to see Chance get some credit and recognition that I do believe he deserves. But for me personally, I really think that this is Robert Parker's year. I think Parker is going to show off. He's going to show out and do really well. Thank you so much, Shepard. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm turning into a rant, but I definitely have Parker for the Parker Ellison match.
Well, I didn't turn the timer on, so it wasn't that much of a rant. And Megs, there you go. That's true. I will say also that Chance was on Call to Action Live last week. The Call to Action Live is usually a 2-hour show. I wasn't going to be on it, and then because I was working for 4 hours that night, and then I got home from work and they were still on because of John Kaiser. So I got on it, and we ended up going 3 more hours after that. So it ended up being a 7-hour stream. The second half, sometime in the second half, Chance Ellison came on, and I did stump him with an Innergeekdom question. So happy to say that. But so go find that if you want. I'm not going to tell you. You got to go find out. You got to go watch it.
I got to go back and search for a 7-hour video, Paul.
You got to watch all 7 hours to find it. It's gold. It's all gold. I'm on for at least 4 of it. So you can at least cut, like, just watch the second half with me, because then you'll know that's where it is.
Okay.
That's your one. And Chance has got to be on. So there's your other hint. So
just find those time frames and just
video Drew was on too, I believe, at that point. So it was a long stream, but it was fun. But yeah, so that's where we are with that. And of course, then we will have. The next thing would be whoever wins Parker and Chance will go on to face the Barbarian, and that's the match I've been kind of waiting for. I've been hoping to see Parker versus Barbarian, to be honest, because Barbarian what a lot of people have said about what a lot of people have said about Damon, I feel is very true about the Barbarian. Like he just started the IG stuff like 3 weeks before this tournament started, so he's got the base knowledge. Definitely after his first 2 matches, you've seen he's got a few holes that he's obviously got to patch a little bit, but again, if you give him time, I think he could considerably be in the running for a Innergeekdom belt, possibly at that point. But
I do too. Same thing. Same thing with the Barbarian. I have nothing but fan love for Craig, and it's amazing to watch him play. He's done so well, and again, he's been so strong in every single match that he does. Even the exhibition matches. I know that a few of them. I don't know how many of the ones that he's in are aired. I believe I've only seen 2, but the Jurassic Park one and the not the Lord of the Rings one.
The
other one that he was in.
You're making me look it up because I can't remember now.
No, it's fine. Either way, he did really well in both of those matches. And
I want to know now. That's the problem.
Both of those matches and his matches. So the Barbarian is someone that I can definitely see taking it. I would love to see him go against Robert Parker because these 2 new rookie sensations, someone who we have had hype about for a very long time, someone who's had a very big name in the fan leagues. And then Craig just kind of seemed like he came out of nowhere and just took this league by storm. And everyone loves the character, loves him. He's a wonderful person. And he's so smart and his knowledge is there. So I definitely think that Craig will go far in Innergeekdom. It's so tough to go through tournaments because someone has to win. And I'm the type of fan that's just like, I want everyone to win.
That's because, if you start going to live events and you start meeting people, you start getting along with these people. And these are all people that you get to interact with. And you realize that all of them are pretty freaking cool people. So it's like, I like all of them. I don't want anybody to really lose, but except for Brandon Hanna, he should always lose at this point. Craig did not actually play another exhibition match according to the wiki there, just did the Jurassic Park one, and he won that one. So I
wonder what I'm thinking of then.
I don't know, but I also want to throw this out there. No level 2. I only worked overtime. That was my night off, but I had 4 hours worth of overtime. So it started by the time I got home. It was 4 hours into it. And it was still at 3 a.m. in my time. And it was still on. So I jumped on. So I didn't do it from work. I'm not gonna ever do it from work. Oh no!
What day was that on?
Last Sunday, I think it was. Sunday? I'm sure it was last Sunday, a week ago. So call live is gonna happen this Sunday, but it's not gonna be 7 hours. So I don't think it's gonna be 7 hours this time.
No.
But you never know. You never know. At this point, yes, Matt. It was pretty epic. It was not. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh! Epic, so. The best call to action episode. I object.
You would. It was almost the longest, but not quite. The ladies' night that was New Year's, I think, went 8 hours or something at one point.
Oh my gosh! You know what? Hindsight, I really regret leaving. I left to go on a date, and obviously,
I remember that, and it was not a great date from what I heard. It wasn't that fun.
It was fine, but still, it would have been nice to hang out with the ladies and be there all night long. I could have hopped back on, and I should have, but
oh wow.
Golly, that stream went on for so long. Like this one, it feels like it's going on forever.
We should get going. We're not going to make this one big. So, last thing I'll throw up. We do have a call live coming up on Monday. We also have chilled action, which is wait, hold on a second. Wait. Now we're in the proper place for chilled action.
I love that song so much. Big shout out to David B. Thank you so much for creating that Chill to Action theme music for us. It is my favorite tune to get stuck in my head every Monday.
Absolutely. And that's it for now. And we also have Schmobates, the first match after the tournament. And she can't announce anything yet. I don't think anything's official.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to if the match is going to be what I hear it's going to be, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But I will let Alex announce that when she's ready. And also we have some other chill people in the works. We still got some feelers out there. We don't have anybody set up yet after Koi, but there are some good names we're going to have in the next couple of weeks as well.
They don't need to know how we make the cake, Paul.
You never know. Rod Deacon, maybe. All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one. Danny, where can they find you?
Alrighty, y'all, you know me. It's your girl, Danie Joy here. You can find me on Twitter at DanieJoy, DanieJoy. You can also find me here on the Call to Action Network every Monday with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul DiNuzzo, right over there. We hang out. We talk Schmodown personalities. We've talked about it this whole entire show long, so you already know what it is and probably have already known what it was to begin with. You can also find my YouTube channel. Just search my name. It's there. I'm finally putting videos up. Thank you so much for being patient. I really appreciate it. That's all. Bye.
Too quick. Again, I was going to put it in the chat. If Jake is in the chat, you can throw him in there for me because I can't get it. But either way, Danie, that's Danie's email. I can't wait to see more stuff on Danie's site. Danie had a great first video. It was the other day. It went 11 minutes, and it was 11 minutes of awesomeness. And I can't wait to watch more for that.
So. Thank you. I'm excited to do more.
Also, for me, at Paul _DiNuzzo, I'm here every week on Chill with my favorite co-host. Danielle Ramirez. We do that every week. Also on Call to Live also, and also on the Action Industries YouTube channel. I do help run the Action Industries Patreon, patreon.com/Team Action for Ben and Drew. I also am on Action Industries Class Action, a show with Richard Eric Jarvie. This week's episode, we had was debuted earlier today. It was me and Richard with special guest Kelsey Kirkland, also from C2A, and we discussed Christopher Nolan versus Denis Villeneuve. It was a very fun episode. We thought
it really was. It really was a fun episode, and I don't ever tell Paul about his shows to toot his horn or anything like that. We're good enough friends where I could be like, Paul, come on,
woof.
But that episode was actually a lot of fun and really good time. So as are all class actions. So watch those.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And also I do have PLD projects as mine as well. We'll get more content on there soon. I'm hoping to get to the Harris Dance soon enough. And if you don't know what that is by now, well, you'll find out.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I really can't. I cannot wait to see you do that project. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
All right, guys. With that being said, as always, we salute you.
Bye.